What is up, my homies? Been a long time since I've done a gear video, or knife video, I suppose it were. Been kind of getting into the online gaming space. I guess I've been in it for a while, but decided to diversify my assets, which would be my free time, basically. Anyway, not the point of this, but yeah, you'll see some gaming videos up for my fellow gamers who enjoy gear and gaming. But anyway, as you can see here, I have the ESEE Laser Strike. And boy, has this video been a long time coming. I've had this knife for, I don't know, 2-3 months maybe? But I've been wanting to make a video. I've wanted this knife for years now, but I've wanted to make a video on it for even longer. And that is because I really like this knife now. I really like it. It's probably my second favorite ESEE right now. My sixth being my favorite, but this knife and me have had somewhat of an understanding, because when I first laid eyes on it, I actually didn't like it. I actually didn't see what the hype was, actually. But my tastes weren't quite as refined as they are now. And I think the name, honestly, I think the name threw me off a little bit too. I'm more of I look for utilitarian knives, not tactical or, combat fighting knives. And so I think the name threw me off a little bit. And maybe there's like a story behind the name that is good reason for it. Maybe, I don't know, I haven't inquired. But the knife itself, absent the name, now that I've got it, and even before I got it, I did a lot of research on it, and it just screams utilitarian to me. It has pretty much all the aspects I'm looking for in a good utility, survival, woods knife. Just all around, do it all. And this is about this size of a good companion size knife. And I'll give you a side-by-side for reference. Pretty much everyone knows how big the ESEE 6 is. And so there's a good size difference between the two. And you'll have to forgive me, I'm using the back of my truck to do this video now. Ran out of the surface I was using before. Now you can see this ESEE 6, it's got the TKC scales on it. These scales that are on the Laser Strike now are the micarta stock scales. Alright? And obviously this is the one that I had engraved. But this is what you're looking at, good size difference there, and a difference in design. Whereas this is a drop point, this is a spear point. And a spear point, drop point and spear point are my two favorite tip designs, and I'm really coming to appreciate that spear point a lot. I love drop points, don't get me wrong, but man, that actually has done pretty nicely for draw cutting like that. Alright, but let's get back to the point of this video. Like I said, I wasn't a fan of it in the beginning, and so I actually, and you guys have seen it on my channel, the first ESEEs and really high quality, high dollar-ish knives that I ever owned were the ESEE 5 and ESEE 6. I've always loved knives, but those two knives were my first, what do you call them? High quality knives, basically. I'd grown up, you know, buying $20 gas station, not gas station, but pawn shop buoys. And I didn't really know anything about brands and quality and heat treats and all that good stuff. So I started learning about that, and the ESEE5 and ESEE6 were my first two. I don't own the ESEE5 anymore. And that's what brings me to the point of this video. And it's going to be kind of a strange one, and not a lot of, you know, I don't know. There's going to be a good mixture of people who agree and disagree. But this is going to be a versus video. This isn't going to be a review video because that horse has been beat to death already. You guys have seen ESEE reviews up the ass. You know that they're good quality knives. You don't need me to tell you that. Or me to even demonstrate, you know, doing some batoning or whatever. You guys have seen it all before. It's unnecessary. So, we're just going to talk about value. Value. That's the versus. And I wish I had the ESEE5, but it really doesn't need to be here for this video. This is going to be a bang for your buck. What you're getting and the practical purposes. Alright? So, if you're interested in that, then hang out a little longer. Alright, so basically we're going to talk about, like I said, value, bang for your buck. What is going to be the more practical option, and what do you get for the money? So first we'll start off with the similarities. Now I'm going to base the ESEE5 and Laser Strike off of previous models. Obviously the ESEE5 and a lot of their other ESEE line like the 3, 4, and 6 have all had upgrades to the scales. They've all got nice contoured G10 scales now. Or you can get micarta, or the flat micarta slabs like these. But so for the sake of fairness, we're going to do a versus on the older ESEE5 that came with the scales like this, the flat slab micarta scales, right? And so we'll do a versus on that. They both obviously come with these same micarta, not the linen, but the what is it? Canvas micarta. All right. So they both come with this canvas cell micarta slabs. They both have this nice little bow drill divot in there. I'm not big on bow drill fires. I've done maybe a couple in my life, but I like having the option there. And also, I want to get used to being able to use this in the future, so that in the off chance that my knife is the only thing I have, this is something that I'm familiar using. So I like having that option there, whether or not I use it a ton or not. I like having the option. I haven't used it yet. I used it on my ESEE5, but that's sold. So they both have that. The older E5s, obviously, everyone loves the skull logo. You see this one. I got lucky when I grabbed this one. KnifeWorks was selling them. Everyone kind of swarmed that and bought them up. I got lucky enough to get one. And anyway, the old E5s have the skull logo. So does this. Some people are a fan of choils, some not. I happen to love the choils. Finger choils, that is. And I really like this one. It's very comfortable. Because it's not only, and I'm going to kind of show you the difference with the E6. You see on this choil right here, it's only the steel that hugs your finger right there. And it's comfortable enough, that's fine. Not a big deal. Right here, you also have the scales. So it's just a very, very comfortable grip right there. Very comfortable. I really like that. People could argue this is a short knife. It really doesn't need one. I like them. Not a big deal to me. moving on further, they also have different color options, coating color options. Now the E5 in more recent years has got even more color options than I believe the Laser Strike. I think I've only ever seen this in Coyote and Black. So you could chalk that up to one for the E5 right there. It's got more color options now, but like I said, we're going off the older ones. Now I think the older ones still had like OD green, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And maybe some orange in there as well. So I think it did have more color options, but still, who doesn't love that awesome Coyote, man? This is my wife's favorite ESEE now. This is pretty much her. She commandeered it. She loves that Coyote color on this, and obviously I have to agree. It looks awesome. Looks like it was meant for the Laser Strike. So we'll go color options, one for the E5. The blade itself, I think 3/16 is the more popular, the more practical option. And it's really the thickest I really care for most knives. The E5, the SE5, was a very purpose-driven blade. It was designed for a very specific purpose. And so that's why it's overkill, really, with that 1/4 inch blade. It was meant to pry your way out of, a downed aircraft. And then, still have a blade to use in the process. That's why it's called a sharpened pry bar. It's overly built for that specific reason. Not because, you need to, worry about doing curls, breaking your knife doing curls, For 99.9% of your life and time, you're not going to need a 1/4 inch blade. Is it cool? Heck yeah. But even the guys at ESEE will tell you that for 99.9% of the time, it's not going to be practical for most people. Actually, I know Shane himself is a big fan of the Laser Strike. I'm not sure, but I think it may be his favorite out of the lineup. But he'll be the first one to tell you the same thing. I don't want to put words in his mouth, so maybe there's some more nuance to that. But still, in my opinion, it's the more practical option. At 3/16, I think that's perfect. Especially for a utility blade, which I would call this a utility blade. Very utilitarian. The only thing that it doesn't have that I wish it did was an exposed pommel for, light hammering like the SE6 does. But no biggie. Like I said, I would call this more of a companion knife, where the SE6 you could start calling it a survival knife. I really like, and this is my favorite design, the high flat grind, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell it in the video. You can sort of see it, but anyway, it starts off right there, the high flat grind. I don't really care for the 50/50 sabers. I like the high because you get that sturdiness up here, which gives you a lot of thickness at the tang, makes it real strong at the spine, I mean. But then the rest of it is nice and slicey. I really like that about this blade. And I really love the spear point. Like I said, it's proven good for draw cutting. And good for doing things like divots for all sorts of different things. Really utilitarian tip, design style. I really like that. Alright, so we'll go to the sheath. They both come with Kydex. Really nice Kydex sheaths, the same style and everything. I really love their Kydex in general. This design is my favorite. It looks like a pancake, but I guess you could technically call it a taco since it is only one piece of Kydex folded over. But they have the rivets on both sides. My favorite. I love this tensioner / lock as well. Anyway, they both come with that. And they both come with this plastic belt clip. This is metal, this is plastic. So, they both have that going for them. So, a lot of similarities as far as what you get. One thing you do not get with the E5 that you do get with this, and I thought was really cool, you get 2 Tender Quick tabs and a fire steel and magnesium bar glued together inside the Tang here. How cool is that? That comes with it. I didn't know it was in there for the longest time. I had to look it up, and I took it apart just to make sure. But yeah, it's in there. So that is something that the E5 does not have. And then they made these screws right here, flathead on purpose, so you could field strip it and get to that. Not only clean it, but you can get to your fire steel when you have nothing else. Basically, it's a last ditch effort, and that's what this little washer here is for. Now, in my experience taking this off, I did need to have one on each side. Maybe that's a slight oversight on ESEE, to only include one, but that is easily remedied. Obviously, you can grab another one for 10 cents at the Ace Hardware and stick it on your sheath or whatever. Or if you have a multi-tool on you, even better. That's what I use, the Wave and this washer here. But anyway, this comes with that. The E5 does not. Now let's talk about price. That's the big one. That's where the bang for your buck comes in. This I've seen anywhere from 100 to like 110, 112, I want to say. Sometimes higher, but regularly you can get them anywhere, usually around 110. The E5, as everybody knows, is 150 and up. 150 is the cheapest I've ever found it. It's what I paid for mine many years ago now. When I had it, I don't have it anymore, but when I did, I paid 150. And I've seen it for a lot higher. This one has generally stayed at around 100 to maybe 115. A lot cheaper. That's a big price disparity between the two knives. Obviously, they're different knives. They're meant for different things. But when we're talking about practicality, the knife that you're going to reach for a ton more and you're going to use and get a lot more use out of, I think 9 times out of 10 it's going to be this one, if you had them both and had to choose. Now, obviously there are a lot of people out there that the SE5 works great for them. I'm not discounting their experience. It's the knife that they use all the time, and absolutely you can use it, and it can work great for a lot of things that you use it for. I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying that there's, in my opinion, more practical options out there. This being one of them, the SE6 being one of them, even the 3HM, that is very appealing, especially for EDC. If you want a larger EDC knife, it's nice and thin. I really like that for EDC. And light. This thing is obviously going to be a lot lighter too. I don't remember the weight of it. I think it was anywhere from like 10 to 12 ounces maybe at the most. I don't remember though. Somebody can correct me on that. But it's obviously a lot lighter. It's going to be much less of a footprint on your belt. And when ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain. When you're carrying a 30-pound pack or whatever, and you got, another pound on your belt, and that's maybe not even including things like multi-tools and med kits and whatever else you want to put on your belt. All that matters. Weight matters. And so this is obviously a lot lighter. So I think I really like the profile of it better than the E5. I like the high flat grind on here. I like the spear point better. I even like the choil better, even though it's a smaller knife. And even though these are square slabs, they're actually very comfortable in my hand for what it is. I have a smaller hand, small to maybe small medium, but this fits really well in my hand. I've got space to spare. Obviously, when I come up here, I've still got that space. And this could still be used as a hammer if you don't mind. Oh, haha, excuse me, that's what I get for pounding. If you don't mind, scuffing up your scales a little bit. But still, I think that this is going to be the better bang for your buck. Anyway, this is turning into a 20-minute video. I'm sure there's some things I forgot to mention in here. We can continue in the comments. So, anyway, I appreciate it. Thanks. Till next time.